If you believe you have heard every crazy thing about Kenyan politics that you can probably hear, I believe you're wrong. Sample this. Some serious political analysts in the country are convinced that Raila Odinga in 2022 will say Uhuru Tosha. Now, I am often reminded that I love the expression mind-boggling too much. But seriously, I can find no other word to describe or phrase to describe what these serious analysts believe. It is just off the charts, mind-boggling. So much so that I felt we need to break it down, analyze it, point out a few key factors, critical factors, in this theory. Now, let's get something out of the way first. The current Kenyan constitution does not allow a presidential candidate who has already been president twice to run for a third term. And naturally, that is the first question I posed to these fellow analysts. Their response? Well, it will be changed via the BBI and via Parliament. After all, they pointed out, term limits for governors are on their way out. They looked pretty convinced that that is going to happen. And of course, they said, presidential term limits will quickly follow. Another one of them pointed out that according to the BBI, if those changes go through, the executive will change dramatically. And so, it will necessitate a new beginning, allowing the president, our current president Uhuru Kenyatta, to run yet again. And then they reminded me about something that David Murathe, one of the closest and most influential advisors to the president, has said very frequently. Bwana Murathe has said more than twice that President Uhuru Kenyatta is too young. And he has posed the question, where do you expect him to go? I'm telling you, these guys were very convincing. So now, let's break it down. And let's start with what we know. We know for a fact that if Raila Odinga utters those words, Uhuru Tosha in 2022, we know for sure that that is worth millions of votes, pop, just like that, just because Raila has said it. I'm afraid, even if you're not a great fan of Raila Odinga, that is a fact. And I will tell you something else, that I've repeatedly said on this channel, but many of you still do not believe. I have reason, compelling reason, to believe that Raila Odinga will not present himself for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2022. He will not. Let me just leave it at that. Because on this channel, I don't release information that I have not fully verified. However, apart from that information, my hunch is that he is not running. Recently, the ODM Secretary General, Bwana Edwin Sifuna, told us that the announcement that Raila will run in 2022 was an April Fool's prank. In politics, you don't get up to such pranks, because your opponents can easily use it against you. When 2022 arrives, they'll say something like, Raila is still pranking. He's not serious. Something like that. And it goes without saying that Agwambo does not miss many tricks in this game of politics. I think somebody just wanted to assess in advance the reaction from certain quarters if Raila were not to run for the presidency in 2022. I have no evidence, but I'm just speculating on that particular issue. So, with all that information I've just given you, it may seem that these political analysts may be onto something. However, to be very honest with you, I don't agree. For starters, did you know that every single president Kenya has ever had has had powerful handlers around them who were very determined that they continue, that they don't leave the presidency? When Moi was leaving office, retiring, in 2002, there were many analysts who believed he would never leave office. He would find a way to extend his presidency. And many believed them. In fact, a sizable amount of Kenyans believed it. But Moi left office and handed over the presidency to Mwai Kibaki. And when Mwai Kibaki was leaving office, the same thing happened yet again. And in fact, this time round, there was what appeared to be solid evidence that Kibaki was not interested in leaving the presidency, because the elections were supposed to be held in 2012 and not 2013. But they were pushed to 2013. There was intense pressure in Parliament that the elections be pushed to 2013. Now, of course, we all know that if you take any bill to Parliament, even today, suggesting an extension of the term of the present parliamentarians, it will pass. It will have a huge majority. Virtually every member of Parliament will vote for it, and therefore an extension of their gravy train. But in 2012, there were those who believed that the initiative and the pressure was coming from State House. And indeed it was, but it was for different reasons. And I can tell you today, Kibaki handlers were slow in organizing his exit strategy. They needed more time. The presidency is not a job that you just walk out, put the keys on the table, and walk into the sunset whistling. No! It is very easy to end up in serious problems after you've left the presidency. Anyway, yet again, a sizable number of Kenyans believed that Mwai Kibaki would never leave the presidency, that he would seek an extension to continue his good work. Well, it didn't happen. And I also believe it will not happen with Uhuru Kenyatta. He will in fact leave the presidency in 2022, and somebody else will become president of our country. In other words, these rumors of a president not leaving office when they're supposed to, it happens all the time. It has happened all the time in Kenya since independence, with every single president. Our first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, of course, passed on in office. But it was widely believed he would never leave the presidency. And I guess in Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's case, this was accurate. What people were saying was true. Because he ended up leaving office by leaving this earth. There is something else that many of these analysts who predict a president will not be interested in leaving power do not take into account. The presidency is a very high pressure, difficult job, irrespective of your performance. It takes a lot out of somebody, and especially somebody of the character of our current president. I am certain is very much looking forward to leaving office. A first-term president may be reluctant to leave office, but not a second-term president. It's rare. Most second-term presidents, not only in Kenya, are usually exhausted by the time they're finishing their second term. And in Kenya, we are talking about 10 years. 10 years of a high pressure, very demanding job. And even if powerful handlers have other ideas, the man himself, and especially his close family, will not want to hear about an extension. I know many of you still don't believe that, but I assure you that is the truth. And to convince you further, the president has fully backed the BBI. Now imagine you're the president. Would you want, after enjoying such immense powers, to have an expanded executive where you have people looking over your shoulder? Where you're forced to consult, even when you do not want to release too much information, especially in matters of security of the state? I don't think so. I don't think the president would be keen to serve in an expanded executive. It would be extremely uncomfortable for him. He is the president, yes, but he's human. And humans will always act in a certain way when they suddenly have to lose some of their powers, or powers which they've enjoyed before. And of course, I appreciate the fact that many Kenyans are still yet to grasp the full implications of an expanded executive as proposed in the BBI Act. Now, before I go, I'd like to strongly recommend the previous video on this channel, which I did, whose main objective was to bring clarity, especially to the hordes of new subscribers or people who are new to me, so that you may understand what this channel is all about. And after that, you'll be able to benefit fully from what this channel gives. I highly recommend that video. And there'll be a link on the top right hand corner of your screen shortly as this video ends. Also repeated in the description area below on this video on YouTube. So don't miss it. And also don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.